everybody's been listening to speakers in Swedish. I'm in English, and so what I'm going to do is start at a slow talking pace, and then as you get used to my big, dumb American accent, I'm going to speed up to my normal talking rate, which goes a little bit like this. So I'm Ken Kralick. I'm head of e-commerce for Puma in Europe. We are based out of Germany, Herzogenaurach, just out of Nuremberg. We are a global e-commerce organization who reaches out to the world from Germany. A lot of people think in terms of they are from their particular space reaching out. We start international and then go from there. So what I'm going to talk about very quickly is actually our agenda, which is some boring stuff. We're running a little bit late. You guys are waiting for lunch. It's a little boring. Here we go. So here's the whatever part. Our e-commerce mission, if I read it off the slide, is to actually have a very large selection of products, have it be available all the time, and try new things. We want it to be fast. We want it, next. So in order to make this work, what you need is a technology that actually works in a lot of places and has lots of places where you can plug things in. So around the outside, you have e-com platform, which is Demandware, which we'll talk about here in a second. Advantages, the PIM, the product information management tool, is the only way that we can do business. Because when you start from one particular place and reach out, what you have to do is make it exponentially more difficult to deal with each language, and with each currency, and with each plugin, and So for us, in order to get 2,500 products every season, twice a year, and translated, and all this other sort of thing to happen, you need to have this center point. So I'm not going to belabor this item, but as we then start talking about the technology, this e-commerce engine in the middle is where a lot of people fall short. They design their own technology, they think, okay, I'm a programmer, this is going to be awesome, but that only works once, maybe twice, and you start to actually understand that I can't build on top of it. So when you start plugging in all this other crap that goes into your website, the front end starts to slow down and it falls apart, and then all of a sudden you can't get into the bottom area, which is where you're plugging into warehouses and currencies and banks and all that other garbage. Something like an extensible e-commerce platform, like a Demandware, like other technologies you've heard of, is the pinch point. A lot of people don't think that way. They think of the front end and they think of usability and all this awesome stuff. I'm one of those dorky technology guys. I worry about the back end stuff. So, international bit. I've been with Puma 4 years, 4.5. I've worked with Demandware something like 6, 7, 8, 9. When I started in Germany, this was what we were looking at. So you've got a couple different colors, Cobra's, Golf. Blue is actually where we had Tritorn. We've sold them now. These U's are unified sites. So the plan was, what we would do is we would start here, which is the US, Europe, and Russia, and we would do something with India. And then we would do something with China. That was the plan. If we move on farther, then the idea was we would have all these unified sites that would all look the same and it would all be connected together, and it just totally fell apart. So what happened was we thought we'll be in Europe and we'll ship down to Turkey, we'll ship down to the Emirates. This will be great. The Demandware front end would do it. None of the back end warehouses would work. We started talking about shippers and currencies, and it kind of failed. So actually we're still sort of like here, but I'm still here, so we're good. So now, more importantly, sort of like why you're here, because the technology stuff is all great, but they were talking about Rihanna, that's not me. So you only came to see this. But we got a cool thing that we do. The nice thing once you get away from your technology and you start actually looking at some of these other platforms is you can start to connect really cool stuff. And you don't have to deal with it. So this is one perfect example where we, for the Euro Cup, we've been supporting Arsenal, we've been supporting BVB Dortmund, which are Puma assets. Now all of a sudden we say, okay, what we want to do is take all the teams that we support who are playing in the Euro Cup. We want to make sure that you can type in your favorite name, all that sort of stuff. It's pretty cool because what it does is it actually sits as a layer outside of your Demandware platform or your e-commerce platform, feeds in a bill of materials, and then somebody else makes these shirts for me. I don't have to deal with it. So I make the gross margin on the product. I don't have to develop it. I don't have to maintain it. And it works pretty quickly. Some of the other pieces are this stuff. Anybody know BAPE? Bathing apes? Not even one, right? One. Okay, where are they from? Don't know. Perfect. So this sort of stuff, camo, this is wicked hot in Japan. So we, in order to hit buying minimums within Puma, we bought some and we put it online in Europe thinking, we'll see if it sells. If nothing else, we can get it into the outlet and not too big of a deal. Here's what happened. So green line going along is our unique visitors. This is out of Adobe Omniture Tools. But this is Christmas. So this is December the 12th. Green is traffic, blue is money. We sold everything in under an hour. And the bar's a lot. So I can't talk about how much, but quite a bit. So much so that my team in Europe was sitting there hitting refresh, trying to buy their own jackets and stuff, and it disappeared. These are the ways with e-commerce that you can try things. You have a warehouse, you fill it with stuff. Yes, you've got some sort of inventory investment, but you put it on the website, and if it works, away it goes. Consequently, we launched at hour, so you've got the first blip, the second blip, and then 7 hours later is the United States. They didn't invest as much into the product, and so they also sold through, complete, but on a smaller scale. But here's where the rubber hits the road. Anybody heard of her? Yeah. First slide. Platform, rubber, fur over the top, slipper in a really nice bag. She wore it for a couple of weeks. Goodbye. For me, once we had seen the BAPE stuff disappear, we had been through a few tests of this, and we knew that this stuff would actually go away. But at 80 euros for a pair of sandals, I wasn't sure, right? Ta-da, away it goes. The beauty of it was it broke the site for the first time ever. And by broke the site, I mean some people, as the site actually pushes this product live, some people could see it, and a bunch of people couldn't. My team couldn't. Again, nobody was able to buy the product. We play around so much with these sorts of products that what we did was we false allocated ourselves more in the United States. See, now that they have a bigger spike, they actually pretended they had more inventory and fulfilled it because they saw what we did in Europe. Platforms that can actually take this, where you're talking about 10, 20, 30,000 visitors concurrently, you're going to require a big tool. And that's what these sorts of tools do. So the next one is where this comes from. So this is the European drop on the European site for the Rihanna shoe. Doesn't matter the numbers, green being, more or less, white being, yeah? So this is the day when those shoes went live, and you're talking about 230,000 to 290,000 in that one market. Hit the site like that. And they sit and they actually load the shopping cart and they hit refresh. So you would have people that would actually hit the website once, but then refresh the same page like 15, 20 times, trying to load the cart. And then they pick up the phone and they bitch about it because they didn't actually get the product. But that's another way to deal. I wish this show were another day later because we could actually watch this happen in real time. This one now is the next Rihanna shoe. Drops on the 26th. We're already prepping for this with multiple thousands of units, and we've actually fired up a little more level of traffic. Look for it, watch for it in the news, because this one will sell out as well. Hopefully break the website. Yeah, thank you.